Good morning, everyone. My name is Noel Pfeffer, Executive Director of the Community Development Administration, and I'd like to call this meeting of the Community Development Administration Selection Committee to order at 11:10 a.m. on March 16th, 2023. Jackie, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Committee Member Kyung,
Present.
Committee Member Garmendia,
Present.
Committee Member Alexander,
Present.
and Committee Chair Pfeffer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And I'd also like to motion for approval of the minutes. Does everyone have the minutes before them? And these are the minutes, I should clarify, of the last meeting of the selection committee on February 9th, 2023. And those should be available in the Google Drive folder. Are there any edits to those minutes or any questions pertaining to those minutes?
Christina's name is spelled wrong.
Again?
Well, now you've added an H to Christina.
I just
I apologize. I know I changed the E to an A. To an A. All right, so I apologize again. We will get those taken care of. So if you want to make a motion to accept those minutes as amended to correct the typo, which I thought I corrected.
Grace and I are editing the minutes as we speak, and I will entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
Yeah, I'm just finally getting to the.
Yeah, let's let Christina get to the minutes and review them before we entertain that motion.
All right, thank you. Okay, yep. I move that we adopt the minutes.
Second.
Jackie, can you please call the roll on this motion?
Sure.
Thank you.
Committee Member Kyung,
Aye.
Committee Member Garmendia,
Aye.
Committee Member Alexander,
Aye.
and Chair Pfeffer.
Aye. The minutes are approved, and so with that, we'll now move to the next item on our agenda, which is the discussion of responses, and we'll start first with the request for proposals for environmental consulting services. And here we received two responses, one from Geotechnology LLC and another from Professional Environmental Engineers Incorporated. And I'm going to pass it over now to Rashonda to just provide a brief overview of these two responses, as well as the CDA staff recommendation.
Quick question, what's the other folder in here?
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought there was 3.
No, I don't believe so.
There's 3 in the folder.
Right, so there's 3 in the folder, are geotechnology, PEE, but environmental testing and consulting is not a separate application. It just includes all the, I believe was there a third response, Rashonda? I'm sorry, environmental testing and consulting?
Rashonda, you're on mute.
And sorry, just a quick pause. I did notice Ryan is an attendee in this. Jerry, if it's possible to bring Ryan over as a panelist.
No, there was not a third applicant or submission.
I think this was an example environmental review conducted that was provided as an example of their work.
Well, it says it date submitted March 6, 2023.
And that's still by Geotech.
It is? Where does it say that? Because I compared this one.
Oh, it does not. This says ETC, etc. proposal. This is not one that I received. This must be what?
How to get in here, guys.
Right. I thought it was 3 as well.
They did not, this was not a response to ours. I think what this was,
This was not a response to ours, but
this was a response to SLDCs is what I
So-
realized.
But it
was
says, no,
submitted
it
to
says,
us.
it says RFP, ESA Services for CDA Projects submitted March 6, 2023.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, this is not one that I received directly. So
Kevin, where did this come from? You're on
Huh.
mute, Kevin. I can hear you through the door.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I had the hard copies of this one and the Geotech and PEE. This was amongst those that I got from Rashanda's office on the day that I pulled all the information.
All right, well,
yeah,
Sure.
so this one,
please excuse us.
this looks,
Not
please,
having,
yes, please do. This looks,
If you all need more time to review that,
definitely will. Yes.
you can table this one for now.
Yes, no, that's exactly what we're going to need to do and move on to the vacancy strategy development services, because we obviously can't make a selection without having reviewed one of the applicants.
And this also, your email too, that said how many how many we had to review is also inaccurate for the grants compliance. It looks like there's one applicant.
there was one that was received by Life Touch.
The broader point there, and we'll discuss it when we arrive in the agenda, but that was a request for qualifications, and we've have concluded that a request for proposals is more appropriate for those grants compliance needs.
Okay.
But we do apologize for that confusion, and we will, I'll entertain a motion to table environmental consulting services until we have an opportunity to review all responses in full.
I move that we table environmental consultant until we have reviewed the 3 proposals submitted.
Second,
Jackie, can you please call the roll on that motion?
Committee Member Kyung,
aye.
Committee Member Coleman,
Aye.
Committee Member Garmendia,
Aye.
Committee Member Alexander,
Aye.
and Committee Chair Pfeffer.
Aye. With that, let's move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the vacancy strategy development services. We received only one application or one proposal for the development of a vacancy strategy. It was from the St. Louis Vacancy Collaborative, with the Community Builders Network serving as fiscal agent. Seeing as there's only one application, I believe that instead of providing a kind of staff overview and recommendation, I'd prefer to just open it up for discussion among the committee before we will be requesting your authorization to enter into a contract for this purpose. But before that, I just want to open it up for discussion among the committee.
Hey, Noel. So I think if you look, you'll see that I'm not on the calendar invite for this meeting. So that's why I was late. And I also don't have a link to anything that we're talking about. If I just spoke with Tom, so I think he's working on it, but if he's sent it already, it hasn't came through yet. And if the link was sent separate of the schedule, then maybe tell me the date that it was, and maybe I did get that and I just didn't get the calendar invite.
If you look in your shared drive.
Just open up my shared drive and I should be able to get to it.
Yeah,
It's titled CDA Selection Committee. It's the same drive that we were using for our previous one, and I do see that you're on that.
Shared drive, CDA Selection Committee. Got it. Up to speed. Thank you.
Great, and sorry about that confusion on the scheduling.
No, that's okay. I'm glad. Yeah, I was at my desk, so here I am. No worries.
Any discussion regarding the vacancy collaboratives proposal to provide the city with these services as we work to develop a vacancy strategy? I can provide a kind of high level overview of what they're proposing if that would be helpful.
Do you mind? Yeah, please, no, thank you.
Great. So we essentially requested 3 tasks, and the first one is to help facilitate an interagency coordination process as well as community engagement. And in response to that, the Vacancy Collaborative is proposing to convene 6 interdepartmental meetings each year. This is a 2-year program. 6 interdepartmental meetings each year, as well as 4 public meetings each year regarding vacant properties in the city and programs and coordination. The second prong of the task was pertaining to essentially developing and coordinating vacant building redevelopment strategies and policies, where the Vacancy Collaborative emphasized their experience with a stabilization, maintenance, and demolition working group, as well as their experience and partnership with Legal Services of Eastern Missouri in developing legislative and policy recommendations in order to provide reforms at the state level and proposed to continue this work and deepen this work at the local level. And the third task pertained to developing and maintaining metrics and maps, including a cost of vacant. And here, the collaborative proposed developing a cost of vacancy analysis, emphasized their experience developing the Vacant Property Explorer, and proposed, again, deepening this work through this. For all of this, they provided a budget, which can be found at the end of this document, and includes a partnership with the Regional Data Alliance, which will be providing services in terms of data analytics for assessing cost of vacancy, assessing impact of vacancy, and helping develop a vacancy prioritization index. And I do have, I confess, a question or two about the budget, but that's the high level overview. Any questions or comments on the proposal?
I'm interested in what your questions are on the budget.
It's a technical question.
I gotcha.
But I'll say exactly what it is, and that is that whereas for some of the line items, it looks like they have provided an annual cost that then it is doubled year 1 and year 2. For the Regional Data Alliance, it looks like, or I can't tell rather, whether something is supposed to be an annual cost or a total cost. And so it's just a clarifying question.
Good. Got it. Thank you.
But I thought overall the proposal was responsive, and the team, which is made up of Community Builders Network as fiscal agent, Vacancy Collaborative as the project lead, and the Regional Data Alliance as the data partner, is strong. And it's worth noting that the Vacancy Collaborative in turn has deep relationships with a wide array of other entities, including Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, among others, that have significant capacity and experience in this space.
Noel, when you talk to them about the budget, just talk to them about travel. I don't know if it's a prohibited cost. I noticed they didn't put anything about housing. And if it's not a prohibited cost, I think it'd be nice to cover not only the flight and the per diem, but any housing they may need to wherever they're traveling.
Got it. We'll certainly ask about that. And what I would request in general is authorization from this committee to enter into a contract substantial, with a scope of work and budget substantially in the form proposed, but giving us some authority to negotiate some details.
Like with a not to exceed or,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be not to exceed, sure.
okay. Yeah, I just priced some travel. I don't know how that $400 plane ticket's gonna go.
Now, where?
Maybe make it to
Uh,
Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay.
And it would be helpful to know exactly what the travel need is and how it contributes to this work. And it's also possible that they have other funding sources available, so
Sure.
we'll just want to know details.
Okay, if the data support for the Regional Data Alliance is 52,250 per year, that's the cost. And that's just like a error, then I'm okay. I think I understand their budget.
That's how I read it too. It just is inconsistent with every other line item.
Yeah,
Right.
But I agree that that's the most reasonable way to read it.
and I think the staffing makes sense for the deliverables,
I agree.
staffing plan.
To say nothing of the overall idea, you know, to get all of these people in the same room 6 times a year is gonna be great.
Agreed. And I think it's imperative that we do have facilitators with deep experience in this work. And experience facilitating this process citywide. Are there any other questions? Or are we ready for a motion?
No questions. I think it's a good proposal. It seems really well thought out. Interested to see how the scope continues to develop on it. So I'm happy to make a motion, but I'll pause to see if Christine and Ryan have any questions.
I don't have any more questions. Thank you though, Grace.
I don't have any other questions, thanks.
Okay, so pending the budget conversations, I am motioning for CDA to finalize the budget with the vacancy collaborative toward this RFP. I'm also motioning for CDA to move forward and start drafting the contract. Is there anything else, Noel, that you want me to add to this motion?
That sounds great. What I take that to mean is that CDA is authorized to enter into a contract with the Vacancy Collaborative for services substantially in the form provided in the proposal.
Okay,
So
thank
moved on what Noel said.
you.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, Jackie, can you please call the roll?
Committee member Kyung,
Aye.
committee member Coleman,
Aye.
committee member Garmendia,
Abstain.
committee member Alexander,
Aye.
and Chair Pfeffer.
Aye. So with that, we're on to the next item on our agenda, and we will clearly need to set another meeting for evaluation of environmental consulting services. I'd like to propose that we schedule that time next week. What does everyone's availability look like next Thursday? On the 23rd.
I'm holding a 2 o'clock on Thursday for a PDA committee. But that's all I have on Thursday.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Free, I have the same conflict as Ryan, plus I have an 11:30 to 1 conflict.
Could we
So-
do 10 a.m.? I'm just throwing out a time.
That would work great for us, I believe Rashonda
Yes.
and Jackie, are you both
I-
available?
I'm available on, I'm wide open that day.
Wonderful. So then let's look for 10 a.m. Thursday, the 23rd. I will also flag for you all that later today or tomorrow, I'll be sending letters to each of your appointing authorities requesting that you all are authorized to continue to represent your appointing authorities, either, and this is going to be their choice, for the issuance of 3 additional RFPs, which are going to be grants compliance, early childhood education, and a title company, or to make this a standing committee for the coming year, according to the preference of your appointing authorities.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Great. Do you all have any preference in terms of how that's arranged? That would be helpful to know as I prepare to send these letters.
I don't have a problem with standing, I mean, just, with the understanding that there probably have to be a little flexibility at some point, but yeah. I don't have-
Let me talk to my team. As you know, we're moving our director of operations onto more of these committees. So might want to share the load.
Absolutely, makes sense. Just let me know what the preference is. And perhaps then what I'll do is I'll just send a letter requesting an appointee for a standing committee. It might be the best way to do that. Grace?
I have not a strong preference, but I did see Christina's eye twitch. So I don't know if the president's office wants a standing meeting. It sounds like Christina, you and the new director of operations, Christina, are going to split some of these meetings. So
Mhm.
standing meeting might not be realistic on your end.
To be really clear, when I talk about a standing meeting, I don't mean that we meet every week or even every month. We meet on as needed.
But you have a standard group,
That's right. Got
and
it.
that's our problem.
I got you. All right, maybe we'll just do a separate then selection committee.
Make sure you put all the boring ones in that.
Sounds good. In that case, I think we're on to our next item, which is adjournment. So we look forward to seeing you next week at 10 a.m. And we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All
Jackie,
in
please.
favor?
Aye.
Bye.
We are adjourned.
And I already have the calendar invite. Thank you, Kevin.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kevin. Bye.